going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fake D Podcast. Let me introduce you to our new comrade, Colin, replacing an absent Alex. Tell us a little about yourself, Colin.
Hey guys, I'm Colin, biggest Raptors fan in the 607, also into hockey, Rangers fan, pretty big Rangers fan, and off of the Raptors.
I'm sorry!
So we're going to start today with, last night, or it's not going to be last night when we upload this, but a couple days ago, Game 7 of the Raptors 76ers second round series. As we know, it ended with a enormous, one of the best buzzer beaters in history by Kawhi Leonard. And I just started.
What jersey are you wearing there?
Oh yeah, gotta rep Kawhi because
Yep.
how important he is in this.
Personally, that Kawhi Leonard shot was top 3 for me. Of course, number 1, Michael Jordan's shot in the finals, and number 2, Ray Allen. But the way it bounced around, like the whole stadium went silent, and I don't know, I can't even imagine being there. That's literally crazy.
It was, in fact, the first Game 7 winner-go-home buzzer beater in playoff history, and not a surprise, it was Kawhi Leonard. He always comes up in the clutch, and I think he's the best player right now in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he's literally solidified himself as one of the clutchest players in history, and I don't even
Finals MVP.
Yeah, like he said, he literally won Finals MVP, one of the youngest ever, which is crazy. I think I probably put him in my top 10 clutchest ever. I gotta put him up there. The way that he performed in these series, he had 41. That's crazy.
He's averaging 37.
Yeah, but.
And he didn't even play the most minutes that game. And he played 43, but still, it's an insane amount.
Gasol played 45.
Yeah, Gasol played 45, but you could just see how much trust they put into him on that whole roster because at least the last 10 minutes of the game they were looking for him.
So if you take Kawhi Leonard off that team, I feel they are getting swept in the playoffs. Who's going to score on that team other than Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, before DeMar, they were literally known as, or before the DeMar and Kawhi trade, they're known as choking every single time in the playoffs.
Yeah, because Kyle Lowry has not performed at all in the playoffs. And Spicy P is probably the most inconsistent player in the playoffs. One night he's scoring 30 points, the next night he's scoring 5.
Yeah, I just saw something.
And Danny Green. Yeah, Danny Green's very inconsistent.
But that's all he needs.
Yeah, it was every time.
Danny Green, and they'll win.
Yeah, okay. Every time Damian Lillard doesn't do great, CJ McCollum picks up the slack, but.
There's nobody to pick up the slack.
Kawhi Leonard, when Kawhi Leonard isn't doing great, Kyle Lowry isn't either. He's never doing great. So
but I will go back to the point you said, though. You said Kawhi Leonard's the best player in the playoffs, and that is false.
In the East.
In the East.
You could argue in West, too.
I don't think you can argue. There's two people
I can't think of a player that's more reliable than Kawhi Leonard right now.
KD.
He's injured.
KD's injured.
Well,
he's
okay,
not reliable.
Giannis. What about
He's
Giannis?
not averaging. Kawhi's averaging 37 on
I would say Kawhi and Giannis are very close in how they're performing, and I might take Kawhi, honestly.
Giannis is only averaging. He's not averaging insane numbers. His team is winning.
And Kawhi,
I would say the best 2 players in the playoffs right now are Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard did not show up Game 7.
Yeah,
he heated up at the end.
McCollum carried the load. 37
He heated up at the end.
I would say McCollum is almost on pace with Damian Lillard at this point.
He had 37 points in Game 7.
McCollum is so underrated.
He brought the Nuggets.
He's underrated, but that was one game.
Kawhi Leonard was basically the entire reason why they beat the 76ers. And speaking of the 76ers, their future as a franchise, I think worst case scenario, Tobias Harris, we already know Tobias Harris got to be gone. Some team is going to throw him a max contract. We don't know who, obviously, but I can't imagine him not taking a max contract from one of those teams. And all they got to hope for is that Jimmy stays and Joel stays healthy, and Ben Simmons has got to improve his game.
Jimmy isn't staying. He's
not loyal. I feel like the Sixers may
not.
consider trading Joel just because of his health issues.
What scares me about Joel Embiid is that his injury problems, I feel like he's going to turn into a guy like Grant Hill or Dwight Howard, who have a great career going for them, and then with injuries kind of push him back, and they're a guy that you're like, he could have been like that guy, but injuries really throw him off. And I don't know, I have that fear with Joel Embiid. He just can't stay healthy, and he's kind of fat, so he can't
that was kind of rude.
Well, yeah, he kind of is.
About fat people, talking about Nikola Jokic.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. Nikola Jokic,
much more of a reliable center.
I'm just
averaging a triple double in this playoff.
Joel Embiid can't get up and down the court like Nikola Jokic can, in my opinion. I think that Joel Embiid gets really tired really easily, and Nikola Jokic looks really sweaty and fat, but he still manages to play the same through both halves. But Joel Embiid's stats, literally, I mean everybody's stats mostly decrease in the second half because you're tired, but unless you're really clutch in the fourth quarter and stuff. But Joel Embiid's stats go down significantly in the second half. He is gassed. He'll literally have 30 in the first half and then have 5 in the second half.
I'd rather go Embiid. He's more dominant.
I mean, I don't know. Well, but with his injury problems, I don't know. But with the 76ers...
Jokic isn't a heavy scorer.
It's just that Joel Embiid...
He's more of he's a playmaking center.
He's an all-around player.
The only reason why I'm taking Jokic over
I'd rather
Embiid... The only reason why I'm taking Jokic over Embiid is because Embiid injury problems scare me, and they should scare the 76ers also.
I would consider trading him.
I'd consider trading Ben Simmons.
I would get a lot for him now before his injury gets worse.
I think the 76ers need a real point guard.
Ben Simmons is
Do you want to build around Simmons or Embiid?
I'd rather build around Embiid.
I'd rather build
you
around
have to have
Simmons.
trust.
Ben Simmons, well,
I mean,
for me, Ben Simmons needs to either get a jump shot or I'd trade him.
They both have problems, and you need to decide which one is easier to solve. And I think that a problem with a guy not being versatile enough or not shooting enough or having too simple of a game like Ben Simmons is way easier to solve than Joel Embiid getting injured. I mean, you can't control injuries.
Obviously, it's not because it's been 2 seasons. And he still refuses to shoot.
Yeah, but Joel Embiid
He doesn't refuse to shoot. He doesn't like to shoot outside the arc.
Exactly. He's refusing.
It's just that Joel Embiid...
Yeah. Throughout the entire game yesterday, they kept... they give it to him at the beginning of a possession, and he...
At the end of a game, you don't have to worry about Ben Simmons hitting a shot.
Exactly.
That's a killer.
Well,
then you could double up on Embiid.
Well, I'm trying to say that I think you
can play a zone on Ben
You can
Simmons
solve Ben Simmons' problem. You can solve Ben Simmons' problem. If you bring in the right guys to help out Ben Simmons, he can get a jump shot and earn confidence in himself and slowly build it. And he might not become Steph Curry, but he could become a better shooter. But Joel Embiid, you can't teach health. You can't teach him to be healthy. He's gonna have injury problems no matter what. And other people don't say that his injury problems are that big of a deal, but I don't know. He literally he missed his entire. I mean, has he gone a full season without having injuries?
No.
But a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns literally has played all 82 games up until this year.
He was drafted, and then he missed his entire rookie season injury.
Yeah,
that is.
That was
Simmons.
Simmons. Simmons too, but Simmons hasn't really had an injury since. I mean, not anything severe, right? I mean, as far as I can think of. But
I think the next problem with 76ers is their coach, Brett Brown. He's had a lot of talented teams, especially this year.
I wouldn't say talented teams, per se.
This year,
he's had to work with some horrible teams.
Okay, in the past, yes, it's been a lot of rebuilding, but this year,
recently,
Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Simmons, you have to make it out of the second round.
You got to be able to get it.
You're playing against one player in Kawhi Leonard. The Raptors are built around just Kawhi. The Sixers have so many pieces, and I think he might get fired just because he couldn't make it out of the second round.
Without a doubt. Hang on.
Who would be the guy to replace him, though? I mean,
no clue.
Luke Walton.
Definitely not Luke Walton.
I mean, someone's got to hire Ty Lue. Someone's got to hire Ty Lue.
He's not gonna be the Sixers.
I don't think
Ty Lue's not a coach. I don't think he's too young.
He won a championship against the Warriors, though.
LeBron.
No, you cannot I know it's a joke that everyone's like, oh, LeBron coached the teams, but Ty Lue had a huge part in those teams.
But you don't. But at least to me, I don't look at Ty Lue and say he's an NBA coach.
I do.
He looks stupid.
I mean, he
looks stupid.
But he has a ring. He looks stupid and has a ring, though.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's
against the Golden State Warriors
team of all time. 73-9.
I don't think that's enough.
Speaking of Ty Lue, the Lakers recently, they lowballed Ty Lue completely and shut him down. He hasn't been signed by any team. But recently, it was yesterday, the Lakers signed head coach Frank Vogel.
And assistant coach.
I am very... Oh, and then Jason Kidd is assistant, which I think this was not a smart play by the Lakers because he's an okay coach. He had some good years, but recently, in last year, he coached the Magic, and they won 25 games.
Yeah.
And now this year, after Frank Vogel left, the same roster went to the playoffs. And that doesn't say something about the coaching of Frank Vogel.
Yeah. That kind of speaks for itself about his coaching abilities.
I don't think him and LeBron will mesh well. LeBron is a very tough player to coach, and I don't think Frank Vogel is talented enough.
They could have just hired Ty Lue. I mean, he already has a relationship with LeBron. You might as well bring him in. I mean, you can wow, you can doubt his his coaching abilities, and you could say LeBron coached, but then just have LeBron coach again.
Yeah,
Whatever.
my thing is, if you really that high on Vogel, at least bring Lou in as an assistant.
Yeah. You gotta have. I mean, I think Lou's important to have.
I think
on
the
staff.
entire Lakers organization is just spiraling downward. Like
It starts with Bus.
Yeah, with
They
whoever
need to get her out there.
whoever runs it, they
need to get her
they do
out.
not know. They're not qualified for the position that they have.
I mean, Magic.
Magic
the main
Magic
reason-
screwed him.
He was the main reason LeBron wanted to go to the Lakers. He's an idol of
LeBron
LeBron.
wanted to go to the Lakers because it's L.A. He wanted.
Well, then why wouldn't he go to the Clippers?
Why would you want to go to the Clippers? It's the Lakers.
But who made the playoffs?
Yeah,
this year?
Showtime Lakers, but Magic isn't there. Like,
But who made the playoffs this year is the question. The Clippers made the playoffs, not the Lakers. So
He wanted to bring back-
So was it a mistake?
He was also injured.
Wasn't
I
it?
think,
I would
I
say
think
it's a
LeBron.
mistake,
I think
yes.
LeBron regrets it right now. But unless they turn their act around, he's.
I don't
not.
think LeBron's regretting it because with the core group they have right now, they're either gonna stick with that group and they're gonna push forward to the playoffs, or they're gonna trade that group for someone like an Anthony Davis. And if they do that, they will be top 3 team in the West.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they don't need Rondo. I don't think
They don't
Well,
need-
they're all going to
they
be
don't
gone. I
need
mean,
Steven
they're all on
McGee.
1
They
year. So
signed-
they're all going to
yeah. They're all gonna
I
get
think
cleared up.
they could use McGee if they don't get someone.
If
If,
they're
they don't
getting-
get an Anthony Davis.
Yeah, if
they
they're
could
getting
use McGee.
Davis, then like what's the point of having McGee? They play the same way.
And didn't the
But to come off the bench, McGee's a good player.
didn't the Cavs just sign a new head coach too?
Yes, the Cavs just signed a new head coach, John Beilein. He was the old Michigan head coach. And I think it's a good fit, but I don't think it's the best fit. His record at Michigan was 278 and 150, which
That's a great record.
They also had a pretty good Michigan.
and then
most of the time.
his 41 years as a head coach, he was 829 and 468, which is
I mean, that's
It's not-
I
it's
mean
not bad.
that I mean that double wins his losses
But,
basically.
like,
So
I
And they're
don't
in the
really-
big and they're in the Big Ten, so there's a
Well,
lot
the
of
thing-
with Michigan State.
I wouldn't say that's that hard of a conference because there's not really that many good teams up there. But I would say he's a very defensive coach and very like anti like 3-point and like quick shots, which I don't think his coaching ability is going to translate very well with the
I think the
NBA.
Cavs desperately need to play defense, though. They're one of the worst defensive
Yeah.
teams in the league.
But,
The
like,
Cavs need
But
help.
if you
in
look at
general.
the scoring chart from Michigan this year, they lost in the NCAA tournament 64 to 149, which is the most points they allowed on the entire season. And that's like, I forgot what it was. I saw a thing earlier. It was like 49 points is like one of the highest they scored all year. That's just, and if you watch the Michigan play, the way they
They
play,
played Texas Tech, right?
yeah, no, it was,
their situation with this new head coach could possibly be the exact opposite of what it was with Ty Lue, where with Ty Lue their offense was amazing and one of the best in the league. This was with LeBron at least, and their defense was like 29th out of 30 or like 20 consistently. But with him, it might be the exact opposite, where their defense is great, but they can't pick up the slack on offense. So I'm kind of interested to see where they go with the new coach and if they can improve their team. I mean, they don't have great players to work with, but I mean, Kevin Love is solid if he can stay healthy. And
yeah, they got a top
He's
5
getting
pick
old
this-
though.
They got a top 5 pick this year too.
I mean, maybe if he gets fat again, then he can get. I keep talking about fat people, but maybe if he gets fat again, he can get boards like he used to. Like whatever, he averaged like 15 that 1 year, or something like that. Like he was a big boy. He was
He
getting.
slimmed down a lot.
Yeah. I mean, then there's. I mean, I
So
don't
that's a
think.
good thing though.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for like athleticism and stuff, but
Well,
for being a center, a lot of times you don't need that.
I think right now we have a lock at the top, a top 3 pick, which is either going to be RJ, Ja, or Zion. It's one of
Yeah.
the 3.
I mean, yeah,
And I think those are all franchise players.
yeah.
Yeah, you can build a franchise out of anything.
I think so. With the past few years recently, we've lost a lot of legends, not dying, but leaving the NBA, which is basically the same thing. Garnett, I mean, Paul Pierce, Monty Ginobili, and Tim Duncan all leaving, and guys that grew up watching them. It's very sad to see them go. And we just recently saw Dirk Nowitzki and DWade leave and retire from the league. Personally, all-time rankings, I would probably put Wade just inside the top 20 and Dirk just outside the top 20.
All right, to match up Dirk and Wade side by side, Wade averages more points per game, less rebounds, because Dirk is, in fact, a 7-footer. Or 6'11".
He's 7 foot.
Yeah,
He averages more assists, higher field goal percentage, lower three-point percentage, though, higher PER, and then he leads him in championships, 3-time defensive team, 13-time All-Star, scoring title in 2008. Well, Dirk only has 1 championship, 12-time All-Star, no defensive teams, no scoring titles, 12-time All-NBA, and he was the MVP in 2010 when the Mavericks won the championship, or the Finals MVP. So I would have Wade over Dirk in like legends and all-time ranking, and I think Wade is anywhere from the 20 to like 24 range. I don't think there's a lot of amazing players in the top 20. And because Wade played with LeBron, it's kind of hard for him to take credit for 3 championships. I think the one he won in 2008 with Shaq, that was
it was early 2000s, but that I think that for me his championships push him over the edge in his scoring ability. That's basically, I mean, Dirk literally revolutionized the game with his fader, at least for a big guy like that, taking deep shots and
he changed the face of the league with stretch bigs.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of evens out almost, but Wade's 3, even though 2 of them were with LeBron, I think that you can still count them as a solid win. I mean, he had a huge part in them, and I mean, his
way more accolades.
Yeah, I mean,
he has way more accolades.
Yeah. So I'm taking Wade overall, but
I think Wade could keep playing a couple more years.
No,
I mean, he might, but he's not going
to play.
to.
But you want when you retire, you don't want to retire as like a bad player.
Think about Vince Carter. I mean, Vince Carter is struggling.
I respect
now.
him.
Well, Dirk should retire. Dirk definitely should retire. I think
he deserves to retire.
I think Wade at least one more season because he averaged 15 a game this year.
Yeah, but I mean,
but when I want to remember DWade, I want to remember him as always being a good player.
I mean, that's what Carmelo's doing.
I think he could.
I mean, you gotta let guys make their own decision. You're playing basketball because you love playing basketball, not to make money. Most likely, you're playing because you have a passion for the game. And Dwayne Wade, keep playing. If he wants to keep playing, then I would say go for it. But it's gonna taint his legacy in the end.
I personally think that Dwayne Wade's better.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you for your great answer. I think that is a great ending to our second episode here. I'm proud to share the floor with my guys, and in the end, I'm trying to.
Thank you all for watching.
Thank you, Donovan, for your input.
Yeah, that's it, guys. We'll see you guys all in the next episode. Have a great day. I'll see you guys all in the next episode. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you. I love you all. I love you.